Discover 12 incredible daily habits that will heartwarmingly transform your confidence forever. Sarah sat at the kitchen table, the morning sun pouring in through the window, illuminating drooping letters from bills stacked high on one side. Two chairs across from her remained empty, a stark reminder of her responsibilities as a single mother to Tommy and Lily. Just yesterday, she had overheard Mrs. Thompson at the diner whispering, "Sarah. She's just the diner mom, you know." Each word felt like a knife, carving deeper into her heart. But today, the stories of resilient veterans echoing from the old church meeting rang in her ears, igniting a spark she had almost forgotten existed. She pictured the gathered crowd, faces illuminated with enthusiasm as the veterans recounted tales of courage and hope. If they could weather the storms of life, surely she could take on her own struggles. With renewed resolve, Sarah envisioned the 12 small habits that could transform her life. Imagine waking every day with affirmations: "I matter. I am enough. I can do this." The simple thought coursed through her veins, making her feel lighter. As the days passed, she wove each habit into her routine. Morning affirmations turned into brisk walks with Lily and Tommy, laughter echoing in the crisp morning air. They would stroll through the community garden, hands digging in the dirt together, planting seeds of hope alongside garden veggies. Each moment felt like a little victory against the chain of insecurities that had long held her captive, but the whispers from her neighbors followed her like shadows. What is she trying to prove? Diner mom thinks she can change. Those words tug at her confidence, making her feel small again. Yet, with each negative comment, the flicker of her determination burned a little brighter. Just as she began to find her footing, disaster struck. Sunny's diner, the heart of Hillsborough, was facing closure. The news spread like wildfire, igniting panic throughout the town. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Standing in the diner, Sarah felt the buzz of courage pulsing through her body. Her heart raced. The diner meant friendships, laughter, and years of shared memories. She rallied the townsfolk, leading a grassroots campaign that united them in a way she had only dreamed of. Together, they organized bake sales, car washes, and community events. Each small effort stitched them closer. But criticism still crept in. What does Sarah know about saving a diner? They sneered. Just like before, a familiar tightness gripped her chest, but she stood tall, and despite the doubts creeping back in, she envisioned a community united, not divided. In those moments of chaos, Sarah discovered a truth that resonated deep within her. True strength comes not from perfection, but from the courage to keep striving, despite the challenges. With the fate of the diner and perhaps her own voice on the line, could she rise above the whispers? Was she destined to remain the diner mom, or could she become so much more? The answer hung in the air, just waiting for her to find it. With each passing day, the campaign took on a life of its own. The bake sales became a community event, and suddenly everyone was posting about them on social media, showcasing the cookie towers and pie platters they crafted together. Sarah felt buoyed by the growing support. She even noticed a shift in the whispers. Instead of derision, there was a begrudging admiration from some. "Look at her go," she heard Mr. Collins say to his wife as they pored over a pie. Maybe she's got a point. But doubt still lurked in the corners of her mind. Every time Sarah felt good about what they were building, someone would bring her back to earth. "Be realistic, Sarah. one local businessman said, shaking his head. This is just a diner. You can't think you're going to save it. The words stung, but now, instead of crumbling, she felt a fire burn in her belly. This was more than a diner, it was the soul of Hillsborough Point. One particularly bright Saturday morning, the air hummed with excitement as they set up for the next big sale. Tommy and Lily ran about, playfully chasing each other while gathering raffle tickets. Sarah took a moment to breathe it all in: the laughter, the enthusiasm, the way the sun highlighted the vibrant colors of the tables covered in baked goods. She smiled. They were building something beautiful together. I just wish my dad were here to see this, Tommy said, catching his breath as he tugged on her shirt. He'd be proud, right? The question caught Sarah off guard, and her smile faltered. She missed him fiercely, his presence like an anchor in a chaotic world. Glancing at her children, she felt the weight of her heart, but she also felt determination swell within her. Yes, he would, she answered, squeezing Tommy's hand tight. And we're going to make sure this diner stays a part of our lives, a part of this town. As the oven timer dinged, signaling the fresh batch of blueberry muffins was ready, Sarah rushed to the kitchen, her pulse racing with excitement. The scent filled the diner, weaving through the air and wrapping around the townsfolk gathering outside. Each tray, each baked item was a symbol of community spirit and resilience. Minutes turned into hours, and the lines of hungry patrons wrapped around the block. In the frenzy of service, she caught sight of Mrs. Thompson. For a moment, worry flickered in her eyes as she took in the crowd. Looks like you are doing something, Sarah, she commented, edge softening. Heart-pounding, Sarah met her gaze, vulnerability and strength interwoven in that moment. Maybe it took a little time, Sarah replied honestly, but I didn't let those whispers win. As the last customer left, she felt a relentless buzz of energy coursing through her. They had raised more money than she had ever dreamed possible. But first, she needed to rally everyone further. Next up, a talent show, she proposed, her voice carrying across the tired yet hopeful faces. A cheer erupted, but the weight of that proposal sank into it. Wasn't just about money anymore. They needed to inspire joy and creativity as well. But just as enthusiasm surged, Sarah's phone vibrated anxiously in her pocket. An urgent text flashed across the screen. We have a meeting with the diner's landlord. There's news, it might not be good. The words felt like ice in her veins. Gathering strength, Sarah looked at her kids, then back at the crowd, searching their hopeful faces. Could she do this? Could she keep pushing forward? The battle felt daunting, yet she couldn't back down now. There was so much at stake. As she faced the mingling emotions raging inside her, Sarah whispered to herself, I matter. I am enough. I can do this. But deep down, she wondered if the love and support bringing them together would be strong enough to fight what lay ahead, what awaited them in that meeting. Would their hard work save the diner or crumble under the weight of reality? The stakes had never felt higher. The meeting loomed over Sarah like a dark cloud, threatening to overshadow everything they had built. She glanced at the clock on the wall, its ticking heartbeat matching the anxiety pulsing through her veins. Her fingers tapped nervously against the kitchen counter as she gathered her thoughts. Mom, are we going to the meeting? Lily asked, her big eyes filled with curiosity. She was clutching a half-eaten cookie, her little face smeared with chocolate. Yes, sweetheart, we are, Sarah replied, forcing a smile. But I need you and Tommy to stay here, okay? Keep helping out. Tommy nodded, still bubbling with excitement from the big sale. We can do it, Mom. We'll be the best cookie helpers ever. His enthusiasm ignited a small spark in Sarah's heart. As she left the diner and headed towards the landlord's office, the weight of uncertainty settled heavily on her shoulders. The streets had begun to empty as people returned home after the day's hustle. The sunset painted the sky in shades of orange and pink, but the beauty of it all was lost on her. Arriving at the office, she took a deep breath and pushed the door open. Her landlord, Mr. Jensen, was already waiting, flanked by two stern-looking men in suits. The air felt thick with tension, and Sarah's heart raced. "Sarah," Mr. Jensen said, a forced smile plastered on his face. "Thanks for coming. Please, have a seat." She sat down, trying to steady her breath. "What is going on? You said there was news." He shifted in his chair, his eyes darting to the man beside him. We reviewed the recent financials. He hesitated, and the knot in Sarah's stomach tightened. "There are concerns about the diner's viability." The words hit her like a punch. "Concerns? We are doing everything we can to your community support is admirable," one of the men interrupted, his tone clinical. "But it's not enough. The land values are increasing, and I need to make a decision about the property." Sarah's chest constricted. "You can't do this. This diner is our community's heart. People are rallying around it." "We understand," Mr. Jensen said. "But sentiment cannot pay the bills. We're giving you 2 months to either prove that it can be profitable or we'll have to consider other options." 2 months. That number felt like a death sentence. She swallowed hard, her gaze turned inward as she fought the rising tide of despair. "But we're planning a talent show. We're growing." "But is it enough?" The other man piped in, unrelenting. "You need to show numbers, increase your sales dramatically." "Or what?" Sarah pressed, her voice trembling. "You just sell it to someone who doesn't care about the town's history?" "We'll need a definite plan, Sarah," Mr. Jensen replied, the kindness in his eyes gone. "Time is running out." As she walked out, the weight of reality crashed down on her like a tidal wave. She had wanted to inspire joy, but now it felt like she was racing against time, like she was pulling the town along with her, and she could feel the threads fraying. When she returned to the diner, she found Tommy and Lily still buzzing with excitement. They waved brightly, oblivious to the storm swirling in their mother's heart. "Guess what, Mom? We sold out of all the muffins," Tommy exclaimed, and for a moment, a flicker of hope lit her heart. Could they really pull this off? Could they rally the community even more? "That's amazing, kids," she replied, blushing with pride, but the battle ahead felt insurmountable now. How could she demonstrate the diner's worth beyond just baked goods? As she gathered the children into her arms, something inside her shifted. She wouldn't give up. She would transform the desperation into action. They had created something beautiful, and it wasn't about to vanish, but just then, her phone chimed again, a text notification that flickered ominously. "Sarah, we need to talk. Big plans incoming." The mention of big plans sent her heart racing. Who else was getting involved? What did it mean for the diner? With a renewed fire fueling her spirit, Sarah knew there was more to uncover. The fight wasn't over yet. And she was determined to see it through. She just had to navigate the challenges ahead, and the clock was ticking. What could these big plans entail? Would they be a helping hand or another hurdle in her journey? The answers waited just out of reach. Sarah perched on the edge of her bed, the glow of her phone illuminating her face in the dim light. The message hung heavily in the air, echoing the uncertainty she felt after the meeting. Big plans incoming. It felt like an invitation, but also a weight she wasn't sure she could lift. "Hey, Mom. What are you doing?" Lily's voice broke through her thoughts, and the little girl poked her head into the room, curiosity oozing from her bright eyes. Just thinking, sweet pea. Can you grab your brother for me? Lily nodded and skipped away, her energy a stark contrast to the tempest inside Sarah's mind. She needed to focus, to channel this anxiety into something productive. In 2 months, everything they cherished could be ripped away. The thought burrowed deep, creating a pit in her stomach. She took a deep breath, willing her heart to steady. When Tommy bounded into the room, his face alight with the kind of joy that only a kid with a freshly baked treat could possess, Sarah felt that spark of connection again. Did you see the muffins we made, Mom? They were a hit with everyone. Tommy, that's incredible. And your sister helped so much too. Can we make more tomorrow? His eyes danced with excitement. Absolutely. We're going to make this diner thrive, you know. Sarah replied, a fiercer determination flaring within her. She couldn't show her children the fear gripping her life. They had to believe in their little corner of the world. Will we do another bake sale? Lily asked, bouncing on her toes, cookie crumbs dancing at the corners of her mouth. Of course. And we can plan a talent show too. Sarah exclaimed, the idea coming to life as she spoke. We'll invite the whole town to showcase what they do best. Singers, dancers, maybe even a magic act. Can I do a dance? Lily squeaked, her eyes widening at the thought. Of course, you can. And Tommy, you can share your best jokes. Yeah. The crowd will love it. Tommy chimed in, losing himself in visions of laughter and clapping hands. As they hashed out plans filled with enthusiasm and giggles, a surge of energy enveloped Sarah. If she could motivate them, maybe they could inspire the entire community. Suddenly, her phone buzzed again, and she glanced down. It was a follow-up text from the mystery number, come by the diner tomorrow. I have ideas that can make a difference. Her heart raced, skipping a beat at the promise buried in the words. Who could it be? What sort of ideas were they suggesting? Mom. All set for the big meeting? Tommy's voice pulled her back to reality. Absolutely. We are going to put our heads together and make a plan to show everyone what the diner means to us. The determination in her voice seemed to empower the kids, and they sprung into action, insistently helping her map out ideas. Hours passed, and they filled napkin after napkin with sketches, ideas, and names of potential performers. Each scribble built a bridge to the community's heart. Sarah felt it real hope blooming through the cracks of fear. As the night wrapped around them, the three of them curled up on the diner's old couch, surrounded by their makeshift plans. It felt solid, it felt like home. But lingering in the shadows was the question, who was behind the cryptic message? And could they truly help? The night held its mysteries tightly, and Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that tomorrow would change everything. What if this stranger was indeed the solution she'd been searching for, or just another source of complication? The thought executed a new, delicate balance between excitement and fear that coursed through her veins. She had to find out. Tomorrow would bring more than just revealing plans, it would unveil the future as very course. And Sarah would be ready for whatever came next. The morning sunlight streamed into the diner, casting a warm glow on the tables where Sarah had spent countless hours serving coffee and pie. Today felt different, alive with possibility. She stirred herself awake, anticipation buzzing in her veins. After putting together their plans the night before, she could almost taste the hope that lingered in the air. Lily was already bouncing around the kitchen, her enthusiasm as infectious as ever. Mom. Can I make breakfast today? She grinned, holding up a pink apron adorned with cartoon cats. Absolutely, Sarah chuckled, her heart swelling with affection. It was moments like these that made all the stress worth it. Just remember to save some pancakes for Tommy. Deal? Lily chirped, grabbing the pancake mix. Sarah slipped into her routine, but her thoughts drifted to the upcoming meeting. The message loomed large in her mind: I have ideas that can make a difference. Who were they? What did they have in mind? Her fingers danced nervously against the edge of the table. Tommy meandered into the room, still half asleep but already dreaming of syrupy pancakes. Good morning, superstar. Sarah greeted him with a wide smile. Ready for a big day? Yeah. Can we set up our talent show poster today? He asked eagerly, his sleepy haze lifting in an instant. Of course, she said, trying to tether her excitement. We'll make it bright and colorful. Everyone needs to see it. As breakfast sizzled, they shared ideas for their talent show. Laughter floated through the diner, drowning out the anxious thoughts swirling in Sarah's head. But she couldn't shake the feeling of impending changes. After breakfast, the trio gathered at the table with colored markers and large sheets of paper. As they sketched and colored, Sarah could see the community as spirit come alive in their creations. She felt the weight of her responsibilities press down again. When the clock struck 10, Sarah knew it was time, the minute hand ticking contemplatively toward her next meeting. The diner would open soon, and she had a front row seat to the unfolding of her plans. Running her fingers through her hair, she took a deep breath, trying to calm her frayed nerves. I'll be back soon, kiddos. Keep working on the poster, okay? Sarah called out, determination pouring through her. Can't wait to make it the best. Tommy shouted, buzzing with excitement. With a heavy heart but a hopeful mind, Sarah stepped out of the diner, the door clanging shut behind her. The world outside was alive, bustling with Saturday morning energy, but her mind buzzed with uncertainties. As she approached the small park next to the diner, she spotted a figure leaning casually against the wooden fence. The familiar outline made her heart skip a beat. It was Jamie, the owner of the bakery next door, a longtime friend. He had always believed in her dream. But this meeting felt loaded, and she wasn't sure what to expect. Hey, Sarah. Ready to talk? He called over, his smile warm and inviting. Yeah, I think I am. The words came out, but her heart thudded harder than before. As they settled down, Jamie began to speak, and as he did, something in his gaze shifted. He had a look of urgency, a spark of something that felt transformative. I was thinking. Her breath hitched at the edge of anticipation. What was he about to reveal? Would this new development be the opportunity she needed, or would it complicate her world even further? She leaned in, wanting to catch every word. Today might just shift everything if she could embrace what was coming. What if Jamie had more than just a few good ideas? What if he held a key to what the diner could become? About the talent show, Jamie began, his voice steady but edged with excitement. I think we can take it to the next level. What if we turned it into a community event? A real showcase to bring everyone together? Sarah's heart raced. It was a spark, igniting dreams she hadn't dared to voice. You mean like a festival? A day for everyone to celebrate their talents? Exactly. He said, his eyes lighting up. We could have booths, food, music. It would be a chance to really highlight what our community has to offer. Imagine the unity. She stared at him, processing the vision. But would people come? Would anyone want to play a part? Her voice was tinged with doubt, but deep inside, excitement also bubbled. Oh, absolutely. Everyone has hidden talents, Jamie replied, leaning closer. And with your diner at the heart of it, we can create an atmosphere where people feel inspired to share. You're not just serving pies and coffee, Sarah, you're creating a gathering place. This could be the moment to truly showcase everything the diner stands for. Sarah's thoughts swirled with ideas. What if this was the change she needed? What if it could fill the diner with more than customers? Could it bring people together like never before? But it's a big undertaking, she cautioned, her brow furrowing. The logistics, I mean, we need permits, volunteers, a solid plan. Jamie nodded, clearly undeterred. We tackle it step by step. We can enlist local businesses to pitch in. I can help, and others in the community will want to as well. You have a knack for pulling people in. With your passion and my organization, we can make this happen. Her gaze wandered to the park, where kids were playing. She could envision the festival, a tapestry of laughter, music, and joy, all intertwined with the love of her diner. It could be beautiful. Yet, fear crept into her heart. What if it flops? What if people don't come, and I let everyone down? Sarah, Jamie said gently, reaching out to lay a hand over hers. This isn't just about the outcome. It's about building something with heart. Even if it doesn't go as planned, it's an opportunity to create connection. You fostered that in your diner every day. You do it already, this is just amplifying that spirit. Tears pricked at the corners of her eyes. She felt the warmth of his words settle in her chest, igniting something. You really think we can do this? Together? I know we can, he replied confidently, and Sarah felt strength radiating from him. It was that hopeful energy she had been craving. Let us take the leap, Sarah. Your community needs this as much as you do. As the prospect began to settle in her mind, excitement set her heart racing. But lurking beneath it all was still a shadow of doubt. I have to talk to Lily and Tommy first, she said, biting her lip. It's our diner. They'll want to know everything. Of course. But just think about the joy we could spark, Jamie encouraged. This could be the change everyone is looking for. As they wrapped up their discussion, Sarah walked back to the diner. Her heart was full, yet confusion tinged her joy. What would her kids think? Would they be on board? And more importantly, could she really take this leap? When she opened the door, laughter greeted her. Tommy and Lily had adorned the diner with their colorful poster, a vibrant testament to their dreams. Their smiling faces buoyed her doubts momentarily. Did you meet with Jamie? Tommy asked, excitement sparkling in his eyes. Yeah, I did. And, well, there's a possibility we could do something even bigger than just a talent show. What do you mean? Lily questioned, bouncing with enthusiasm. Sarah hesitated. She had the weight of this newfound opportunity on her shoulders. Should she share this potential change with them, or would it dim the joy they already held for their smaller dream? The choice was blurring before her, an uncertainty that could shape their future together. Let us talk about it, she said finally, a smile creeping onto her face. But be ready, it might get a little wild. As laughter echoed around her, Sarah felt hope. And fear danced within her. What if this leap could lead somewhere extraordinary? But the question lingered, was she truly ready to take the risk? Tomorrow would bring clarity. But today, she wanted to savor this moment of excitement before diving into the unknown. The next morning, Sarah sat at the familiar coffee-stained table in the diner, the smell of brewing coffee wafting through the air like a comforting hug. The sun streamed through the window, illuminating the colorful poster Lily and Tommy had made. It was a vibrant explosion of colors, promising joy and excitement for their little talent show. But now, in light of what Jamie had proposed, it felt both exciting and overwhelming. As she stirred her coffee, thoughts of the festival buzz in her mind like restless fireflies. Would the kids be excited? What would they say? She needed to frame it just right, to show them how this new idea could still hold all the magic they had envisioned for their original project. After a few minutes of deep contemplation, she spotted Tommy and Lily laughing at a corner booth, sharing stories, and planning their own performances. Their enthusiasm was infectious, stirring a sense of hope within her. "Hey, you two," she called out, motioning them over. They rushed to her side, eager for the discussion. "I have something I want to share with you." "Is it about our poster?" Lily asked, her eyes bright with anticipation. "Sort of," Sarah began, then paused for a breath. "What if instead of just a talent show, we turn this into a whole festival? Something bigger, where the whole community can come together." The kids' eyes widened in disbelief. "A festival?" Tommy's voice rose in excitement. "Like with food and games?" "Yes. Just like Jamie and I talked about," Sarah continued, her heart racing. "We could showcase all kinds of talents: music, art, cooking, everything we love about this community." Lily's face lit up. "That sounds amazing. We could do a performance, and there could be other kids too. We can make the diner the central spot for everything." "It would bring everyone together," Sarah said, feeling the energy shift around them. "But I need your help. Planning a festival is a big task. We'll have to gather volunteers, reach out to other businesses, and find a way to make it all happen. Are you both in?" "Absolutely," Tommy shouted, his excitement spilling over. "This is going to be so epic." Lily clasped her hands together. "Can we have a booth for desserts? Everyone loves your pies, Mom." Sarah's heart swelled at their enthusiasm. "Yes. And hot dogs, cotton candy, maybe even local bands. We'll create the best festival this town has ever seen." They spent the next hour brainstorming ideas, laughing at the wild possibilities, and sketching out plans on a napkin. Each new thought sparked another burst of inspiration, fueled by their enthusiasm. Sarah felt lighter and lighter, her earlier doubts dissipating like morning fog, but amid this joy, a flicker of worry lingered in the back of her mind. What if they couldn't pull it off? What if it was too much? Shaking off the doubt, she focused on the energy radiating from her children. They were ready to take on the challenge. As they wrapped up their meeting, a sense of adventure filled the air. Together, they decided to hold a family meeting the next day to discuss logistics with Jamie and the diner staff. Later that evening, while cleaning up, Sarah found herself scanning the diner. It had been a haven for her family, a place where laughter and love thrived. Could this festival be the spark that drew even more light into their lives? The thought both thrilled and terrified her. She glanced at the poster, imagining the crowd, the lights, the music. But also lurking behind was the uncertainty of what could happen if it didn't go well. Could she let go of the fear? Could she embrace the chaos that would come with planning something so grand? As she locked up for the night, the thrill of possibility danced in her heart. Tomorrow was going to be a big day, and a decision loomed over her. Would she step forward boldly into this new chapter, or would fear hold her back? As she walked home, the stars shone bright above, whispering of dreams waiting to be chased. Would she be able to grasp them, or would doubt cloud her journey? The answer felt just out of reach, but one thing was clear. Whatever came next would change everything. The next day brought a fresh sense of determination for Sarah. As she prepared breakfast, the aroma of pancakes filled the kitchen, making her think about the sweet treats she'd be serving at the festival. Vision after vision flashed in her mind: families gathered around booths, laughter echoing, and children darting about in gleeful chaos. "Mom, can we make a sign for our booth today?" Tommy's voice broke through her thoughts, brimming with energy. Absolutely, she replied, realizing that engaging their creativity early would set the tone for the day. It would be fun and meaningful, less about perfection and more about their shared joy. Once they finished breakfast, the trio gathered at the diner, sketching ideas for their festival booth signage. Lily suggested illustrations of their favorite pies, while Tommy's excitement turned into a brainstorming session for slogans. They flung ideas back and forth, laughter filling the little space, and Sarah felt the burdens of her worries faintly slip away. As they drew, Jamie arrived, a stack of freshly printed flyers in hand, her smile wide. Ready to dazzle the community? Absolutely. We've been working on our booth concepts. Lily beamed, holding up a colorful depiction of a pie with sparkles around it. Looks great. Jamie examined it closely, nodding with approval. Now, let us get to business. We need to start reaching out to other local businesses and gather volunteers. This festival won't plan itself. With a renewed sense of purpose, they sat around the diner's large wooden table, pulling ideas and names of local businesses that might want to join in. Sarah's heart raced as she realized how many people would be involved. What about the bakery down the street? Tommy chimed in. Miss Betty makes the best cookies. That's a brilliant idea, Jamie said, getting enthusiastic. We can make this a full community affair. I'll handle the outreach, that's my specialty. Sarah looked from Jamie to her children. This was no longer just her dream. It was a collective journey. The thought filled her with warmth but also a fresh tendril of anxiety. She wanted this to succeed for Tommy and Lily. Let us meet back here tomorrow to discuss our progress and anything we need to tackle, Sarah said, her voice steady despite the flutter in her stomach. And I need everyone to spread the word. We want as many kids as possible to perform. As the meeting wrapped up, Tommy and Lily dashed outside, excitedly discussing who they wanted to invite. Sarah watched them with a smile, but that old fear crept back. Was she enough? Did she have the skills to navigate what came next? Throughout the day, they continued making preparations. The kids caught up with friends at school, spreading the news of the festival. Later, Sarah found herself back in the diner, the comforting clatter of dinnerware around her resonating like music. Jamie returned, her layers of energy contagious. Looks like the buzz is spreading, Jamie said, her eyes bright. We might have more volunteers than we can handle. Really? That's amazing, Sarah responded, her heart buoyed by the prospect. But with excitement came a creeping doubt. What if everything fell apart? Hey, I've been thinking, Jamie said, tilting her head thoughtfully. What if we made the opening act something surprising? Something ecstatic, maybe a big reveal or a local band? Yes. That could be the highlight of the day. Sarah's heart pumped a little faster. In this moment, something shifted. The idea was gaining momentum, and she could feel the spark of possibility igniting within her. As she stepped outside moments later, dust settling over the horizon, the glow of the street lamps flickered on. The stars flickered overhead like little reminders of hope. The thumping beat of excitement for the festival was unmistakable. But shadows of doubt loomed too, just beneath the surface. Could all of this really come together as they envisioned? Her chest tightened, uncertainty filling her mind. Just as she turned to leave, a flurry of voices caught her attention, fellow community members chatting with Jamie over near the diner. A young girl caught her eye, waving excitedly, and suddenly, she felt the weight of her worries lift. Could she embrace this journey amidst the chaos? That night, Sarah lay in bed, wrestling with her nerves. Just as she felt herself drifting off, a thrilling idea sparked in her mind. What if she added a special part of the festival dedicated to sharing stories from the community? Something that could open doors between neighbors and strengthen the ties that held them together. Would sharing those stories elevate their festival, weaving a beautiful tapestry of experiences? Or would it just complicate things further? As she faced that tantalizing question, sleep took her, and with it, a sense of urgency. Tomorrow could reshape their little town forever, and she had to decide what path to take. When morning arrived, the relentless sun poured through Sarah's bedroom window, forcing her to awaken earlier than usual. She stretched her arms and took a deep breath, recalling the idea that had ignited her imagination just hours before. A festival full of stories. It could be the heart of the event, a way to connect with the community on a deeper level. But would people respond to her call? The thought lingered in her mind as she began her day. Tommy and Lily, always eager, bounded into the kitchen, the excitement in their eyes reflecting her own hope. "What's the plan for today, Mom?" Lily asked, bubbling over with energy. "We're going to start discussing something special for the festival," Sarah replied, a grin forming on her face. "Something that will highlight the incredible stories in our community." "What kind of stories?" Tommy threw a handful of cereal into his bowl, curiosity written all over his features. "Stories from people, anything that showcases their experiences, their struggles, and their victories," she explained, trying to keep her enthusiasm in check. "And maybe we could even invite some of them to share during the festival. Like a storytelling corner." "Wow, that sounds cool!" Lily exclaimed, her face lighting up. "Can I tell a story too?" "Of course. Everyone can share." "That's what will make it special," Sarah replied, her heart swelling at the thought of the children excitedly sharing their stories, building connections in a way she never anticipated. After breakfast, they headed back to the diner, determined to breathe life into this new idea. Jamie was already at the table, animatedly discussing ideas with a few of the volunteers. As Sarah approached, she found it hard to ignore the current of energy flowing between them. "Hey Sarah. Glad you're here. We've been brainstorming the storytelling idea. People are really excited about it," Jamie said, her eyes shining. It was reassuring to see her friend so enthusiastic. "That's great to hear," Sarah replied. "I was hoping we could organize a storytelling session at the festival. A chance for everyone to share their experiences." "Yes. Definitely." Jamie nodded vigorously. "It'll be the heart of the festival, I can feel it. We need to spread the word and encourage people to think about what they want to share." As they began formulating questions to inspire potential stories, Sarah felt a sense of clarity washing over her. Her worries faded a bit more as she sensed this initiative could truly unite the community in a way she hadn't anticipated. But as they worked through ideas about logistics and crowd engagement, a subtle voice of doubt whispered at the back of her mind. What if no one stepped up? What if the stories stayed buried, too painful for people to share openly? Pushing the negativity aside, she pressed on. They spent hours discussing how to create a welcoming environment where vulnerability flourished. Big sheets of paper for people to write down their stories anonymously if they preferred, encouraging the kids to share their drawings as well. By the time lunchtime rolled around, the diner was buzzing with the hum of excitement, but it was short-lived when the door swung open. A pair of local teens walked in. They were friends of Tommy and Lily. They strolled to the counter, backpacks slung over their shoulders, laughter filling the space. "Hey, guys. You should come to our festival. There's going to be so much to do, including a storytelling part," Tommy announced, infectiously excited. The teens exchanged glances, a hint of skepticism in their eyes. "Really? Storytelling? Sounds kinda boring," one shrugged. Sarah's heart sank. They weren't supposed to sound disinterested. She opened her mouth to encourage them, but a flicker of the earlier fear sparked back to life. What if they thought the whole festival was lame? Suddenly, a knot of worry tightened in her stomach. Actually, it's going to be epic. You can share, play games, and there's going to be food. Plus, it's a chance to hear cool stories, Lily chimed in, as if sensing the presence of a roadblock to their vision. The shift in her daughter's tone made Sarah realize the importance of supporting one another, even in those little moments. As the teens began to warm up, Sarah felt hope spark again. But would their festival be more than just a gathering? Would it truly foster a sense of community? As the day wrapped up, Sarah knew tomorrow would come with its own challenges. She was determined to make the calls, write the emails, be proactive. And yet deep down, she still wondered if she could rally the community around this storytelling idea so it wouldn't fade away like an unclaimed dream. Looking out the window at the gathering clouds, she breathed in deeply, feeling another wave of urgency. Could tomorrow's excitement outweigh her insecurity? What if she dared to dig into her own story first? With thoughts racing, she realized some stories need a voice. What about her own? The sun rose over Hillsborough, casting a golden glow around the diner. Sarah felt a rush of excitement this morning, the festival just days away. It was now or never. Today, she was going to share her story, a practice run for others. The thought sent a thrill through her. She pushed through the door of the diner, greeted by the familiar sounds of joyful chatter from patrons already filling the booths. Tommy and Lily were at their table, scribbling ideas for their own performances, their faces lit up with hope and anticipation. "Mom, can you believe the festival is this weekend?" Lily squealed, her eyes wide. "I can't. It's going to be amazing." Sarah hugged them both tight. As they caught up on their festival plans, Sarah couldn't ignore the flutter of nerves dancing in her stomach. Today, she had to practice what she planned to share with the crowd. Gathering everyone around would not only set an example, but she hoped it would inspire others to open up as well. "Guys," she said, shifting her nerves into determination, "I want to start a storytelling session today. I'm going to share my story, and you can join in." "Yay! I want to help." Tommy jumped out of his seat, his excitement contagious. Lily nodded, bouncing on her toes. "I'll draw pictures for the story, can I, Mom?" "Yes. Let's make it special." Sarah beamed, bursting with encouragement. A warmth enveloped her heart. This was what she longed for, connection through vulnerability. After breakfast and with the diner bustling around them, Sarah cleared her throat, gathering attention. "Everyone, can I have your attention?" The room quieted as both familiar faces and newcomers turned their heads. She clasped her hands together to ease the tightness in her chest. "My name is Sarah, and I wanted to talk about why the diner means so much to me and what our festival is all about. It's more than just a huge event or a showcase, it's about our community, our family." She paused, looking into the eyes of her children, who were nodding with determination. Years of coping with life as a single mom, the whispers of doubt coiling tighter around her heart at times. "There were days when I felt like I was drowning, but then I remembered my purpose, why I fight, for my kids, for this community. You all are my strength. This diner is a place where stories unfold and hearts connect." As she spoke, she saw someone she hadn't noticed before, Mrs. Thompson, nodding encouragingly. "Our lives intersect here, and each of your stories holds power. I deeply believe that when we share, we heal. So, let us make this festival a space for connection. Come and share what matters to you." The room felt alive with energy. A buzz of conversations flared up, and laughter filled every corner. Fueled by the shared heartbeat of the diner, Sarah found a flicker of magic igniting within her. One by one, people stood up, sharing snippets of life stories, heartfelt testimonies of struggle and triumph, anecdotes that made them who they were. When the storytelling session wrapped, the sense of community swirled in the air, thick with affection. Tommy and Lily beamed proudly, and Sarah felt a surge of joy. This was what it meant to come together. They were bonded not just by the diner but by love, struggles, and determination. As laughter faded and applause echoed through the diner, Jamie approached with bright eyes. "You've sparked something incredible today, Sarah. People are excited. Can you feel it?" "I do," Sarah replied, feeling lighter inside than ever before. "And it's not just about the festival, it's the connection we're nurturing. This is our time." As their final preparations for the festival began, Sarah felt empowered. She might have faced plenty of challenges, but the compassion of her community turned her fears inside out. The festival morphed into a heartful gathering, an explosion of unity that transcended the diner's walls. The day arrived, the sun bright and cheerful, washing over booths displaying tantalizing dishes, laughter and music intertwining. All around, people shared stories, each one unique, each one vital to the life of the town. Children and adults laughed together, families celebrated, and Sarah couldn't quell the radiance of hope swelling within her. Standing beneath a sprawling banner reading Hillsborough Story and Talent Festival, Sarah grasped her children's hands, taking in the vibrant energy pulsating around them. This celebration was not only theirs but also a testament to community spirit and affection. She had been afraid before, filled with doubt, but now she stood in the warmth of transforming love. This was the moment she had strived for. She was not just the diner mom, she was the heart of Hillsborough, a force of unwavering spirit, dedicated to shared stories and love. Today, they not only celebrated what they had built but also all the potential for what was yet to come. With her heart full and tears brimming, Sarah raised her voice above the sounds of jubilation. "Let us keep building this community together. The stories we share are what truly bind us." The crowd erupted into cheerful applause, a wave of support shooting through the air. In that moment, she truly felt seen, loved not just as the woman behind the counter but as the strong, capable force she had fought to become. As the festival carried them into the fading sunsets, Sarah's heart swelled. This was just the beginning. Together, they would continue to nurture, celebrate, and uplift one another. And with that promise danced shimmering rays of hope, a community united, stories shared, and a future waiting to unfold. Now, before saying goodbye, you need to subscribe immediately to our channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and keep these inspiring tales alive. Comment below about your reactions and feelings about this ending, and remember, you could be a part of our journey. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second to share. Your support means the world to us.